Hi, and welcome to Movement Mondays. I am Alex Weaver. So I am again running the back end and also doing the class. So let me just double check that everything is good and our stream looks okay, and then we'll get started in just a few. All right, so looks good. So for today's class, all you're gonna need is a yoga mat or a towel, something comfortable to lay on and do exercises on, something sturdy enough for you to sit on and put your body weight on, and some water. So we will get started here in just a few. I am just going to share this link and then we'll get started. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so one more time for anyone who just joins. Hi, I'm Alex Weaver. Welcome to Movement Mondays. For today's class, all you need is your yoga mat or towel, something you can do exercises on comfortably, water, and then something that is sturdy enough for you to sit or put your full body weight on. So that can be like a chair, really anything that you can put your body weight on. So we're gonna get started here in just a second. Let me turn the notifications off on my phone. Perfect. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. So let's get started with the warm-up. So as always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. So for the warm-up today, we're going to start with a set of 5 walkouts. So you can start standing at the end of your yoga mat, walk your hands out into the plank position, and then all the way back, standing up nice and tall, reaching for the sky, and repeating. So we're going to do a set of 5 of these. And I believe this is the 5th one. So on this one, you're going to bring one leg forward, open up toward that leg, and then switch sides. All right, so now you can come to a seated position. You're going to sit up nice and tall, engaging your core. And we're going to keep our shoulders down, so we don't want to bring our shoulders up to our ears. Keep them down and relaxed. Bring our head to our chest and slowly rotate through our neck, full range of motion. And then all the way back. You can roll those shoulders out. And then we're going to switch to a kneeling position. So on your hands and knees, you're going to breathe in, pulling your spine towards the ceiling, And then exhale, dropping your chest toward the floor. So inhale up, exhale down. And then go ahead and flip on over. So you can lay on your back with your feet hip width apart. We're going to engage our core, so pulling our belly button towards our spine, keeping that tension, engaging our glutes and hamstrings. We're going to press up, hold for 2 seconds, and back down. We're going to do a step of 16, so keeping that core engaged. And 16. So flipping over, we're going to do a set of 12 super people. So arms and legs outstretched, coming up, holding for 2 seconds, and back down for 12. And 12. So you can sit back. We're going to stretch for a second in child's pose. So you can sit back into your hips. Let your head rest on the floor. Take a few deep breaths into your belly. And then come back up into that position where we're on our hands and knees. You're going to take one hand, put it behind your head. I'll turn to this side so you can see a little better. You're going to come in towards that other wrist, and then open away. So you're going to feel that stretch in your thoracic spine. So we're going to do 5 per side. And switch. Awesome. So go ahead and stand up. So you are going to stand a little wider than your normal squat position. Come all the way as low as you can, grabbing your toes, keeping your elbows on the insides of your knees. So we're going to hang out here for just a second. Really sink into your hips. You can shift your weight side to side a little bit if you want. And then we're going to come up into a hamstring stretch. So it's okay if you can't touch the ground, just try to keep your knees locked. Try to feel that stretch in your hamstrings. And then come back into that deep squat. This time, you can keep your hands wherever's comfortable. Just make sure you're keeping your elbows on the inside of your knees. You can shift a little bit back and forth, as you can see I am doing. And then come back up into that hamstring stretch. Gonna hold for just a few seconds. And coming all the way up. Do some forward arm circles. Taking some nice deep breaths. Switch directions. And shake out anything else you feel like you need to. Feel free to stretch while I'm talking, and I'm going to talk about our first circuit today. So our first circuit is plank to downward dog with opposite shin tap, or YTAs, followed by squats, bird dogs, and a side plank. So the plank to downward dog with taps, we've done before. So you are starting in a plank position, and then you are shifting from plank position into downward dog, tapping the opposite leg, like so, and coming back. So you can either do just one side and shift back, or you can do both sides, like this, or you can even just shift from plank to downward dog, hold, shift back. So any of those are fine. If you can't comfortably do a plank on your hands and feet, that may not be the movement for you. If that's the case, you can do YTAs. So YTAs are also going to work your shoulders. So, or you can actually do a regular plank if you want as well, any modification. Or you can do YTAs. So YTAs, you can use a couple couch pillows. If you don't have a yoga ball, you can either do them like this. So shoulders coming up, Y, T, A. So again, Y, T, A. Or you can do this laying flat on the ground, which can be a little harder because you have a limited range of motion. Laying on your stomach, head resting on the ground, coming up, Y, hands back to the ground, shifting to T, up for T, up for A. So Y, shifting, T, shifting, A. So you can really do any of those things for movement one. Movement two is going to be a squat. So we talk about squats a lot. So make sure we're engaging our core, keeping our chest up, our feet are at least hip width apart, our hips are coming back, and our knees are coming forward. So just like this, coming back up. So really control that in your hips. If you feel like you're leaning, so if your squat looks like this, right? It might help to elevate your heels. So you can use a couple of books that are similar thickness. And you can put your heels on them like I'm putting my heels on this pipe. And it might help so that you are able to get lower into your squat without leaning forward. Another thing you can do, if you feel like you're having a hard time sitting back into your squat, is you can use a chair or an object to squat to. So I have this bench behind me, so when I squat, I'm just going to tap my butt on it, and if I lose my balance, I just sit down. So, and then you can come back up from that seated position. So really modify these however you need. You can even elevate your heels and squat to a chair if you feel like your calves are tight and you're afraid to bring your hips back, or if it feels uncomfortable. Third, we have bird dogs. So bird dogs are starting in that hands and knees position. You're engaging your core. You're extending opposite arm, opposite leg, keeping that core engaged as you reach alternating sides. If that feels uncomfortable to be on your wrists, you can also do swimmers. So similar to the super people we started with, you're laying on your stomach and you're lifting opposite arm, opposite leg. You can either rest your head on the ground or move your head a little bit if you want. It's up to you. So either of those are fine. And then last but not least, side plank. So side plank, you are going to either do partially kneeling or extended. If you are kneeling, you're stacking your legs on top of each other, knees are bent. You're coming up by engaging everything from under your armpit all the way through your knee. So everything is tense. I feel the majority of it in my core. If you're doing full extension, the side of your foot is going to be the point of contact, and you're coming up just like this. Again, everything is engaged all the way down the side of my body. So that, and we'll do both sides. So that is going to be our circuit 1 for today. So let's start here in about 30 seconds, and I will be using the timer today, so you will be hearing some beeping. And we'll get started here in just a few. All right. All right, so 10-second countdown. Remember, our first thing for today is either plank to downward dog or any variation of planks to downward dog, and then or YTAs. So 10-second countdown, and we are getting started. And go. Great job. So next up, we have squats. So if you need something to squat to, feel free to grab it. And we'll do a 10-second countdown. And we are squatting. And go. Great job. All right, so next up, we have those bird dogs. So 10-second countdown. And remember, you can do swimmers or bird dogs here. Awesome. And last but not least, we're going to do a 30-second plank per side. So let me just change the timer real quick. All right, so 10-second countdown. 3, 2, 1, and go. And 10-second countdown. Switch sides. And go. And rest. So grab some water and then we're going to repeat that circuit. If anyone wants to play a fun game this evening, if you'd like to guess the temperature in this room right now, according to the window fan, and drop it in the comments, I will tell you at the end of class who is correct. The only hint I'll give is that I prefer it to be cold. So, fun game. Okay, so we're going to repeat that entire circuit here in just a second. So let me reset the timer back to 45 seconds. So this time through, I'm going to demonstrate some of the other options that I didn't do in the first round that you can do for each one. So instead of doing the plank to downward dog with taps, I'm going to do the YTAs. I'll do the squats as usual. Bird dogs, I will instead do swimmers. So you'll see me kind of switch it up this time, and then we'll finish with the side plank. So you're still welcome to do whichever one you want, but you'll see me doing the alternate versions of each movement where there are alternates. So 10-second countdown, and you will either do plank to downward dog with taps, some variation of a plank to downward dog, or YTAs. So 10-second countdown. And go. Great job. So next up, we have 45 seconds of squats. Alternately, I forgot to mention this before, but if squats bother you, you can also do glute bridges instead. So 10-second countdown, and we are squatting. Great job. Okay, so this next one, you can do bird dogs or you can do swimmers. I did bird dogs last time. You'll see me doing swimmers this time. So 10-second countdown. Sorry, 10-second countdown. And go. All right. So last but not least, we have that side plank. Let me edit the amount of time. So we'll just do 30 seconds per side. So 10-second countdown. And go. And switch sides. 10-second countdown. And go. Awesome. So grab some water. I'm going to talk us to the next circuit. Okay, so our second circuit today is push-ups alternating with a yoga block. So I'll show you those. Lateral or forward lunges, leg raises, and a wall sit. So we'll start with the push-ups. So let me grab a yoga block. So for these push-ups, if you have a book, you can use a book. You can also do these on a wall, on a bench. I'm going to actually start by showing you on a wall, and I'm going to move from easiest to most difficult. So easiest is going to be on a wall. So you are doing a push-up on the wall, coming in and out, switching your grip, so walking one hand over and back. So each time, notice I'm moving both of my hands. I'm still keeping my core engaged, and I'm pressing from my chest. The next step from that would be to do the same thing on a bench or on a chair or on a box, really anything that's elevated. So again, you are doing your push-up, walking one hand over, push-up, walking one hand over, push-up, etc. From there, you get into variations on the ground. So you have multiple options on the ground. You can do, if you have a book or a yoga block, you can do these either kneeling or full extension. So kneeling would look like this. So yoga block in the center, push up, switch which hand, push up. Full extension looks very similar. So you're here, push up, switch which hands on the block, push up, and then you're going to switch back and forth. If for some reason push-ups bother your wrists, couple options. Number one, you could do them on your fists if you have a soft enough floor. So you can do your push-ups like this, and then that way you don't have to bend your wrist back. The other option is if you have something you can grab onto, like dumbbells, you can use the dumbbells as grips. So just an example of that. There's a couple dumbbells, setting them up shoulder width apart, and I'm doing my push-up on the dumbbell. So any of those are fine, and you can modify them as you need to. Next up, we have lateral or forward lunges. So lateral lunges are going to be the more difficult ones. So I'm going to show you those first. So lateral lunge, you're standing nice and wide. So like wider than hip width. You're shifting your weight over, hips are coming back, pressing up, over, coming back up, over, coming back up, just like that. A forward lunge, or even a reverse lunge, obviously, coming forward, alternating. We did these last week, like so. If neither of those work for you, you can also do step-ups. So if you have an object, you can do a step-up onto a chair, alternating legs, like this. Or you can even do, for a seated option, you can do seated high knees, or you can do single leg glute bridges. Any of those things are fine. So that's going to be number two. Number three is leg raises. So laying on your back with your hands under your butt. You're going to start with both legs up, down, and up, like so. Keeping your core engaged so that your back is not arching. So you're keeping that tension in your core. If this feels too difficult, you can do just one leg at a time. I would still recommend keeping your hands under your butt to make them a little bit easier. And then last but not least, we have a wall sit. So I'm going to give everyone, you're actually going to have two options for this. So easier option is going to be a glute bridge hold. So laying on your back, feet hip width apart, you're going to engage your core, come up into a glute bridge and hold. So you're keeping your core and your glutes engaged. So this is option one. Option two, which is going to be harder, is going to be your wall sit. So I'm going to call out time in 15-second increments. So you can do just 15 seconds, you can do 30 seconds, or you can do the full 45. So you're going to press your back into the wall. Feet are about hip width apart. You're going to come down so that you're creating a 90-degree angle at your knees and at your hips. Keep that core engaged and just hold. So I'm tensing my core and all of my legs to stay up on this wall. And I'm almost pressing back into the wall. So, like I said, I'll give you intervals every 15 seconds. And you can also do the glute bridge hold if you want. And you can also do that for intervals. So that is going to be our second circuit. So we will start in just a second. And we will start with the push-ups, the alternating push-ups. So remember, you can adjust them by starting at more of an incline and then making it less of an incline to make it more difficult. So let me just edit this. All right. So we're gonna do a 10-second countdown, and we are starting off with these push-ups. 10 seconds. So next up, we have lateral lunges, forward lunges, step ups, or single leg glute bridges, high knees, really anything for lower body. So again, lateral lunge is going to be the most difficult, and then other lunge variations right behind that. So 10-second countdown. Whew, those push-ups get me every time. All right, 10-second countdown. And go. Good job. So next up we have the leg raises. 10-second countdown. And go. Woo. And last but not least, you have either a wall sit or a glute bridge hold. So I'll give everyone a second to head over to the wall. Grab a sip of water if you'd like. All right, so 10-second countdown. Remember to keep your core engaged for this. It's going to make it easier for both the glute bridge and the wall sit. "15 seconds in. "20 seconds in, or 30 seconds in, sorry. And rest. Great job. So grab some water. We're going to repeat that whole round. So don't forget, if you'd like to guess the temperature in this room between now and the end of class, at which point I will tell you, feel free to guess in the comments. And as I said earlier, the only hint is that I prefer cold. I was trying to think of a prize that I could give, but it's a little hard with the virtual to award prizes. But you will know that you got it right if you do, so. All right, so let's get back to it. So we are starting with those push-ups on the yoga block, or on your book, or on the wall, or whatever works for you. So 45 seconds of those. The 10-second countdown. And go. Whew. Those really do get me every single time. Great job. All right. So next up, we have lateral or any other lunge variation you'd like. Step ups, high knees, seated, what have you. So 10-second countdown, and we're at it. And go. Don't lose your balance. Great job. So leg raises. Almost done. 10-second countdown. And go. And last but not least, glute bridge hold or wall sit. So grab a sip of water, head on over to your wall. All right, so after this, we just have a few core things, and you're done for today. 10-second countdown. Fifteen seconds. Thirty seconds. And rest. So grab a sip of water. We just have a few more things left. Ooh, Megan, good guess. You're running out of time. If you'd like to guess the temperature of this room. All right, so all we have left are Russian twists, crunches, and 6-inch killer, which I will show you, and it's not as scary as it sounds. I don't know why they call it that. All right, so we are going to do 30 seconds of each of these, so I'm going to adjust the time. Okay, so Russian twist. You're going to start seated with your legs bent, your heels on the ground. You can lean back slightly, engaging your core, and you're going to rotate just like this, back and forth. If you want to make it harder, you can lift your legs and rotate back and forth. So we're going to do 30 seconds continuous. So get ready. And 10-second countdown. And go. Halfway. Great job. So next up, we have crunches. So crunches, you can do any variation you want. So just a couple options. You can do crunches with a single leg extended, like this, crunching up. If your low back is bothered by crunches, that might be a good option. So just to show you again, like this. So you can do like 5, switch your legs extended, etc. for the time. You can do both knees bent, gauging your core to come up, back down. You can do legs up, crunching up like this. You can even do toe touch crunches. So any of those are fine. We're going to do 30 seconds straight through. So 10-second countdown. And go. Halfway. Great job. And last but not least, I really forgot what I had for last, is the 6-inch hold. So, very similar to the leg lifts. You are going to place your hands under your butt again. You can start higher up and then lower into position and hold. The closer to the ground you get, the harder it gets. So if you stop right about 6 inches above the ground, it's going to be most difficult. So if you're having a hard time, maybe do like a 45-degree angle instead of the 6-inch. So keep your core engaged. Don't let your back arch. This is your last thing for today. So, all right. So 10-second countdown. This is your last thing for today. 3, 2, 1, and go. Halfway. Great job. Whew. That was a hard class today, so good job. Okay, so now for the question I'm sure everyone has been dying to know. So I asked earlier for people to guess the temperature in this room, and I could bring my phone over here to show you what I want, but maybe you can see it from there. It is 48 degrees in here because I love the cold weather. So, Megan Hart by default you win. You are the closest, the only and closest guest. So thank you for participating. And this concludes Movement Mondays. So as always, thank you all for coming to class. This class happens every Monday, 6 p.m., same place. Thank you, Thunder Mist, for sponsoring this class. Again, I'm Alex Weaver. I'm coach and owner at Alien Athletes, and I will see you all next Monday, same time. Thank you.